Alright, what is up? Welcome to the Veloxpreme tutorial. So today I'm going to show you guys everything you need to know about Velox. This video is all you need, and then it'll show you how to check out products easily on the Supreme site. So we're going to start out over here in the task creation menu and hit new task. This is where you create like one attempt to check out an item or a task. So the things you're going to need, first we're going to need profiles. I'll show you guys how to set up profiles soon. And then the other thing you're going to need is proxies. Assuming that you want to run more than about 5 tasks, you will definitely need proxies. So I'll show you how to get proxies and how to set them up in the bot. And then all the other things you need, I'll show you like which modes you want to run, keywords, color, category size, all that. So we're going to start out over here in the profiles tab. So as you see, the only profile I have right now is this test profile. And this test profile just has bad info, all of this that is made up. But basically to create a new profile, just hit new profile. For the name, you can say like, main card, whatever you want, and then just input all your info into here. Pretty straightforward. Phone number, no dashes. So just type it out, like no dashes, just only numbers. I think dashes might work, but I've always done it without dashes and it's worked fine for me. So yeah, no dashes there unless you need to. Then everything else pretty straightforward. If you want to jig your address, so say you're trying to check out multiple of the same item with different cards and you have to jig your address, things you want to change are email, phone number, and then on the address, like say like this was my account or this is my address, I would add like ABC before here and like add an apartment number. And then assuming you live in a house, they'll deliver it right to your front door, and it will that will jig your address. So then you just hit save, and boom, your address is jigged. So I'm gonna delete this profile because there's nothing stored on it. But this is the profile I set up earlier that I will use when I'm showing you like my test. Then over here in proxies, all of these are my proxies that I use. Don't worry, you can't steal these because they're IP authenticated, so they will only work on my IP address. So basically, how you're going to set up proxies is pretty straightforward. Just hit new proxies, paste them all in here, hit add proxies, and then you are good to go. They'll all be loaded up in here. And then as you can see, some of mine have a very different speeds than others. That's because all these slow ones, I hit test all, and all of these fast ones I tested individually. So this button here is the test button. So see if I hit like test on these slow ones, they're all getting like 400. And this varies a lot based on location. I run on a server usually where I get about 20 milliseconds, but that's a little bit more advanced. For beginners, you won't need to run on a server or anything, assuming your like PC isn't crazy slow. But there's a big difference. If you hit test all, see how slow a lot of these are? That's because I'm sending. I have 25 proxies loaded in right now. That means I'm sending 25 requests all at the same time. So of course they're going to be a little bit slower. But if you want to just test how good your proxies are, just tap it on one, and that's what you're going to see. Hit that test button. And then, yeah, trash button here, pretty straightforward. So that's how you set up your profiles and your proxies. Next big deal over here, CAPTCHA solver. So basically, for Supreme, for each task, in order to get an item, in order to get an item in your cart ready to check out, you will need to solve a CAPTCHA. So once it's in your cart and you hit that checkout button, or the bot hits that checkout button, a CAPTCHA is going to pop up in here, assuming that you have bad Gmails. So how CAPTCHA works is it's based off of Google. If you have really good Gmails, then you won't get a CAPTCHA. And that's what you want to aim for. You want to aim for as many Gmails as you can get that don't give you CAPTCHAs. And then those Gmails, basically you hit this YouTube tab and you log into the Gmail. Sometimes it's going to clear the cookies before because that'll log out of anything that the solver is previously on. So like say you have a good Gmail, but for some reason you're not getting one-click CAPTCHAs or you're not getting no CAPTCHAs on your solver, hit clear cookies and then go and sign back in, watch YouTube for like an hour, and then you should be back and you should not be getting CAPTCHAs. And then basically you're going to want, for your proxies, you can run one solver locally. And then for all the other ones, you're going to need proxies. So it's very important that you kind of keep your Gmail on one proxy. Because if you go and every week you're switching around the proxies that you're using on one of your Gmails, that'll mess it up. Google will flag it and you will no longer get one-click captchas. And then you're going to be having to solve captchas and you don't want that. So try to keep one proxy on one Gmail and you should be fine. And then I'll show you what's happening over here when I'm going to run a test task pretty soon. But the alternatives to having this captcha solver are AYCD and Essentials. So I've used both. Basically what they do is they're both used to farm your Gmails. So if you're running a bigger setup and you have, like I have like 10 Gmails that I usually use, um, sometimes I'll use AYCD Autosolve or Essentials. These are tools, and what they do is they will farm activity on your Gmails, and then you link them up to the bot, and they will automatically solve your captchas for you. So it's especially Essentials. I prefer Essentials. It's made by Kodai, who also makes one of the best bots in the game, and um, but they're both really good tools. And if you want more information about that, join the Velox Discord once you get your key, or DM me and I can help you out. Instagram is on the video, and then Discord will be in the bio. And then that's basically all you got to know about AYCD and Essentials. So then you got your Discord webhook. All these 7s are just here so you guys can't see my exact keys. But usually you would have a webhook in here that you make your own Discord server, you add a webhook to it, and then that webhook would be like, that's where if you get a checkout or if you have show declines checked, that's where it would send declines, and it'll show you like the item you got, the profile you used, your checkout speed, all that good stuff. So you definitely want to have a Discord webhook set up. Monitor delay, I've never switched it off from 300. That's like how fast it's going to refresh the page basically on Supreme. Um, Again, check the Discord for Velox. The devs will post a guide for each release telling you what delays to run, and all that stuff. So it changes up each week. So it's hard to give you all the info you need for delays and that in the video. But once again, DM me if you got any questions because I'm always in the Discord. So yeah, that's basically all we got to do here. Deactivating your key just lets you activate it on other devices. Check for updates. Well, pretty simple. Check for updates. Some updates you do need to actually reinstall the bot, and this button won't work. So once again, Discord for that. And I think that's about it. Test webhook. We'll just send a little thing to your webhook, and then import and export profiles will let you move these profiles and store them in a file and then import them back later when you need to. So I think that covers up these 3 tabs. Now we got to go and set up a test task. So to start, I'm going to select my test profile, and this will process payment, but we'll get a card decline because it is bad info. Then CAPTCHA bypass, never have this on. Unless something changes between now and whenever you're watching this video, do not have CAPTCHA bypass on because it can get your profile banned and it just doesn't work. So just keep this checked off. This tries to bypass the CAPTCHA, which it used to work really well, but then they patched it one week and it hasn't worked since. So just keep it updated on the Discord, and this is likely to change soon. So whatever is happening at the time, check the Velox Discord or DM me. I'll tell you what's going on there. Use proxies. You can run about 5 tasks without proxies, but then all the other ones you're going to need them. And then you want to run about a 1-to-1 proxy to task ratio. So I have 25 proxies. That means I could run about 30 tasks, 25 of which are on proxies and 5 are on local. Then modes, you got request safe, and hybrid. Request is your standard mode. That's what will normally work. Run like half or more of your tasks on there. Then request safe. It's a newer mode. Basically, it adapts to the current bot protection on Supreme. So you're going to want to run request safe for a small chunk of your tasks. And same thing with hybrid. Hybrid's basically if all else fails, hybrid will pick up, but it's slow. So you don't want to run a lot of tests on hybrid because it's slow and it uses a lot more RAM than request. So hybrid and request safe are kind of your backup methods. And then requests they'll tell you the exact ratios you should run in the release guides because it switches up every week. But for restocks, only run requests. That's the only thing that will work. and then for initial drop, run, I prefer like half request, 25% safe, 25% hybrid, but that's a lot of personal preference too. Keywords on Velox. You want to use, like, say I wanted to get a box logo, I do just box, comma, logo. Pretty straightforward. But say there was already a t-shirt loaded up on the site that was like a small box logo tee, I would do another comma and do minus small. So this would only pick up items if it had the words box logo and it didn't have the word small. Category, just the Supreme categories. Sometimes the top sweaters, sweatshirts, and t-shirts items, it's kind of hard to tell which item is which in there. So I would always check on the Discord, and he'll post, or the devs of Velox will post a guide with all the keywords and all the categories and everything you need to know before drop, and the colors. Color, just put it in like, red, blue, whatever you need. Make sure you just check if you're in the US after the European drop. Go and make sure your colors are all good because they switch them up sometimes. Size, just pick your size, and then that's about it. So just to show you guys a little test task, we're going to run a little restock for a Hanes item. So we're going to go Hanes, leave color blank for random. We're going to run size on random, and we're going to go on accessories. And then also timer. Basically timer, you set it up, it's like military time. So if I were wanting to start tasks, you usually want to start them 30 seconds before drop. So I would do like 10, 59, 30. And then you have to start the task to initialize the timer, and it will stay starting at 10, 59, 30. But I always just manually start them. I don't mess with the timers. There's not really a need to unless you're running multiple bots and you have to do multiple things at once. And then this is about all I will need for my test task on Hanes. And so here's your task here. Here's your actions. You have start, edit, duplicate, and delete. I will start the task, and then you will see it's waiting for product, adding to cart, and see how a captcha popped up in there. That's because my Gmail is not the best Gmail out there. So I just click on the traffic lights, hit verify, and then it will process payment almost right away. So see how that took a lot longer. Of course, I could have solved that captcha way faster, but that took a lot longer than it would have taken if I had a one click. So right about now, card decline. And then that's because I had bad info. But that's basically how you run a task. And see over here, it should say the product name and pick everything up. And see how it picked up. I was running random size and it picked up medium. So I think the last thing to cover would be restock mode. So for restocks, basically, I'm going to create a task on test profile, use proxies for an in-stock item on the site. For right now, the example I'm going to use is this pair of shorts that I don't even know what they are, but they're called the Grid Soccer short. So I'm going to run Grid Soccer. They're out of stock right now. That's why I'm using them as an example. And then we're going to run orange and random size. So we're going to add one task for random size and one task for medium. So remember, the second task, that's for medium. The top one's for random. So when I start both of these tasks, the random one will say waiting for restock normal, and the one with the specific color and size will say fast. So the only way to be running fast restock mode is to run for a specific color and a specific size. So it shouldn't say random in any of these spots if you want to run for restocks fast. And normal restock mode is pretty slow. I've gotten some checkouts on it before, but it's gonna take it's basically about like half as fast as the fast restock mode, I would say. So if you want to say you want to run a full size range of one item, instead of running random size on one, run 4 tasks each for a specific size. Like run one for small, one for medium, etc. So that's how you do restocks. So I think that's about it when it comes to Velox. So if you have any questions, once again, DM me on the Instagram, which is posted on the video, or the Discord down in the description. And hopefully this helps. See you guys later.